Hey guys, Sinister here, back again with another video today. This time it is a Invade and Annex tutorial. This one is actually going to be a bit more of a guide. This is a bit of a fun one, but the game doesn't do, in my opinion, a very good job of explaining how to do this role in general, especially if you have not downloaded the DLC. So I'm gonna let the guys in this video, this short clip, tell you what we're doing today, and then I will see you on the other side after the introduction.
Guys, then.
Sinister!
Sinister! Bro, I love your videos! I love your videos where you carry me to play this game, man. You are a beast. I watched your video on the guns and I was using the marksman loadout you did in the YouTube video, but I just kept getting too many ads because I don't have the DLC.
Cheers.
But the gun is like a beast, bro. You really need to... Are you making a sniper guide anytime soon? Hey, I'll ready to watch that, man. You have a good day. I don't want to interrupt your game time. I love you, Sinister.
Yep, you guessed it, we're going to talk about the sniper today. This is my favourite role, I'm not going to lie to you. I absolutely love playing this role in the game. It's just so engaging, so fun, and you can actually have quite a big impact on the battlefield as well, which I really like. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the game doesn't do a very good job of explaining this role. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this opportunity to go through some of the basic controls before we jump into the game and kind of show you some of the loadouts and suggestions of what I'm going to do. As a reminder, if you have not watched my sniper mod review, I would take this opportunity to review that and have a look at the sniper mod review. There's a really great mod on the workshop that everyone has access to. You don't need any DLC or anything like that to play it. And of course, I'm going to also take this opportunity to strongly suggest, if you have the money or you already have it in your library, to play the Marksman DLC. I am going to do a playthrough of that DLC on this channel. I haven't done it yet, but I will. It's by far my favorite showcase. It's by far my favorite DLC. And so my favorite weapon in the whole game is in it. So if you get a chance, I would suggest doing that as well. Okay, welcome back. We are on the home screen on the Arma 3 launcher. So in order to get into the virtual arsenal, to learn the basic controls, because obviously we're not going to want to do that on a public server because we'll get frustrated and people will get mad and we're completely useless in the battlefield. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in and learn the basic sniper controls in the virtual arsenal. To do that, we go onto this screen, we go to tutorials, and we go to virtual arsenal. And as you'll see, I'm on a fresh character, so I don't have any presets or anything like this. You're going to spawn in and you're pretty much going to look like this cool dude here. So in order to get started, we're just going to use a basic weapon loadout. I'm just going to use a sniper rifle and a sniper scope, and we're just going to go through the basic controls. So in order to first select a weapon, you need to go to your rifle here on the top left hand side. And in the case of me, I am going to use the M320 LRR .408, and I'm just going to use the black one. And I'm going to use the LRPS scope, which is the Arma 3's long range scope. I'm then going to equip a vest, just so I can get some ammunition. I'm going to put 2 rounds of ammunition in the weapon. And on the binocular screen, I'm going to select a rangefinder, because obviously if we are a sniper, we want to identify the range of our targets. So we click try, and we've loaded into the arsenal. Okay, so first things first, as a sniper, we want to identify how far away our targets are, and we obviously want to target far away targets. So we take out our rangefinder by pressing B. And if we look down the range and we zoom in on this guy, we can zoom by pressing the plus and minus key on our keyboard. I have it set to my mouse buttons on the side of my mouse to zoom in and out, which I'll explain in the control section in the Invade and Annex piece. But in order to get the range on the target, we press T. And as you can see on the right hand side, I've identified this target as being 499 meters away, or 500 meters. So in this case, as a sniper, 500 meters is pretty close. So we want to have some fun and we want to shoot someone far away. So if we go out here, we can see that this target is 1,999 meters away. So 2,000 meters. So let's put away our rangefinder by pressing B, or taking out our sniper rifle by pressing 1. Let's line up the reticle with our target. So we've zoomed in and out. Remember how to do that. And we are going to just line up our reticle with the target and shoot. And oh, okay, so it's dropped short, right? So you can see here, it's given us the bullet trajectory. It went up and then it bounced off the ground. It ricocheted way over there. So why did the target drop short? My reticle has been lined up with the target, but it didn't even come close. So we need to tell our scope. So we need to zoom in our scope. We need to configure our scope so that it understands how far away our target is, and so that when we line up the reticle, that's what's actually going to hit. So we've already identified our target as being 2,000 meters away. So what you'll see on the screen is that underneath where our ammo is on the top right hand side, you'll see 500 meters. So 500 meters means that at its current configuration, the scope will, in the very middle, so where the red dot is in our scope, is 500 meters. So we want to change that to 2,000 meters. To do that, we press page up on our keyboard, which will increase the distance by 100 meters. And alternatively, if you want to decrease it for whatever reason, you can also decrease it by 100 meters by using page down. So we're going to press page up to get to 2,000 meters. So right here. So now what we're going to happen is it's 2,000 meters. We have identified our target as 2,000 meters. We're going to line up our scope and we are going to shoot. And I missed slightly because I'm a bit unstable. So I'm a bit unstable because I'm standing up, right? So if we go to third person, you can see I'm clearly standing up here, okay? So I'm obviously have far less accuracy when I'm standing up. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over here. We're going to press C to deploy our bipod. And our target we know is about 2,000 meters away. So it's over here. And then to stabilize again, we're going to press Shift to hold our breath. We're going to aim for his chest. Take a shot. Bang. Target is dead. So let's repeat the steps real quick. We took out our rangefinder. We identified our target as being 2,000 meters away by pressing T. T identified our target as 2,000 meters away. We then got out our sniper rifle and we changed the configuration of the scope by pressing page up and page down to 2,000 meters. It defaulted to 500. We then found a position. So if we're crouched or prone, these are far better as stabilization points for us. We can deploy our bipod with C. Make sure to check out my video on basic controls. We put our reticle in the middle of the target. We pressed Shift to stabilize and we pulled the trigger. And bang, our target is dead. Alright, so let's move on to some of the keybinds I would suggest we reconfigure and jump onto the public server and get it all done. Hey guys, me again. So I just realized that I didn't really explain if someone isn't exactly on a 100 meter distance away from you. So this target here, we can see I've moved back a little bit and we can see that this target here is now 1,028 meters away. So what would you do in this case? Well, the process is pretty much the same. We take out our sniper rifle, we configure it so that's 1,000 meters. Now our target is 1,029 meters away. So let's go prone. Let's line up our target, okay? So as you can see when we zoomed in, we have our red reticle in the middle, which is where we're expecting it to hit. But if we go at 1,000 meters, it's probably going to hit somewhere here, potentially the target's legs. So that's not what we want to do. So on each side of the reticle, so to the right, left, up, and down, you can see we have black reticles. These black reticles represent 50 meters. So 50 meters up here, so this is 1,050 meters, or here is 950 meters. So we know our target is about 1,028 meters away. So what we want to do is we want to put the reticle up so that it's about halfway between the red and the black, and this should hit our target directly in the chest if we pull the trigger now. So let's have a look. Oh, I actually got him in the head. It went a little high. But I just really want to clarify that point, because obviously you're never going to get a target that's exactly 2,000 meters away. You might get a target that's 1,990, or that's 1,950, or that's 1,560 meters away. And you just need to collaborate so that it's a little bit different. So that's a little bit closer, depending on where your target is. So what we can do is we can maybe move back here a couple of meters, get out our rangefinder. We take our target again, and we can see he's now 1,050 meters away. Perfect. So go prone, take out our bipod, line up our target. He's exactly 1,050 meters away. So if I put the black reticle in the middle of his chest, I missed apparently. Let's try it again, middle of his chest. Target's dead. Okay, so let's take a moment to talk about the actual loadout and what guns are available to us when we select the sniper role. So as per usual, we go to the ammo crate, we use role selection, and we select the sniper. So this is, we only allow 3 on this particular server, so we go select role. And as you can see, it will just load into my last loadout that I had when I select this role. So what we're going to do is just going to go to the arsenal, and we're going to check what's actually available to us. So we obviously want to look at ourselves, because, you know, the main reason we come here is to play Barbie. But these are the actual guns that are available to us. So ironically, there is an SMG available, so the ADR, and then there is an AKS, which is obviously an AK-74, and a Vermin and Sting and S-Dar. However, there are sniper rifles available here. Now, there are only 2 sniper rifles available. One is the Lynx, and one is the M320. Now, it is really personal preference which one you prefer. In my opinion, the M320 is better for 2 reasons. For 2 reasons. Number one, it looks cool, and secondly, it is technically more accurate at long range than the Lynx. And you're up to about 1,500 to 1,800 meters. They're very similar. My dog is going crazy. So anywhere up to about 1,500 meters to 800 meters, they act very similarly. But when you start getting up to 1,800 meters to like 2.5k, the M320 is going to be a more accurate weapon. However, if you do decide to use a Lynx, the Lynx has access to, I'll show you now in the backpack, but the Lynx has access to what's known as APDS rounds. And you only get 5 rounds in a magazine. However, these are armor piercing rounds, which means these can shoot through the windscreens of light vehicles. So hummingbirds, enemy orcas, enemy striders, vehicles like that. It can also penetrate tower walls. So when you're targeting the HQ and the commanders or units or enemy infantry are crouched down beneath the walls, you can actually penetrate the armor of those walls and vehicles by using the Lynx and this magazine here. The M320 cannot do that. So the trade-off is how close are you going to get to engage your enemies versus what you're actually engaging. So for me personally, when I play the sniper role, I like to get in from long range, so anywhere 1800 meters plus, and engage as many infantry as possible all over the AO to help clear the objective for my teammates. However, if you go in a little bit closer and your focus is, getting as many kills as possible, well then the Lynx may be a choice for you, as it has a slightly higher fire rate than the M320, but bearing in mind it only has 5 rounds in a magazine, whereas the M320 has 7. Let's take a moment to talk about the actual loadout. So like I said, my personal preference is the M320. It has slightly more rounds of ammunition, and it's slightly more accurate at long distances. So my typical loadout, as you can see, is 38 rounds of additional ammunition. So now you're going to say, Sinister, how did you do that? Okay. In the server we play on, if you choose the sniper role and you do Arsenal and you go to backpacks, the Bergen backpack digital is actually an invisible backpack. It's also the largest carrying capacity. So my loadout is actually very simple. It's the M320 with the LRPS scope, which stands for Long Range Precision Scope. So that's here. And then I have 2 first aid kits, because obviously I don't want to die. I have a pistol, because, well, sometimes you just have to get down and dirty with people. And I fill everything else up with grenades. I also have not with grenades, but ammunition. I also have a mine detector. The reason to have a mine detector is that as a sniper, you'll often be on hills and you'll be kind of high up. And the way the server is laid out is that we generally put mines on those hills. So they're basically anti-infantry mines. So this enables me to navigate any minefields, whatever. However, I also carry a Nightstalker scope in my loadout. And so you'll be asking me, there's two reasons. The reason is why do I do it, and the second reason is how do I do it. Because if I go into the arsenal and I go to here and then I go to the backpack, you'll notice there actually isn't an option to put in any scopes or anything like that into the backpack. So to do it, you actually need to equip the scope. So let's take a DMS, right? So we equip the DMS and you can see the DMS has, so this is what the LRPS looks like and this is what the DMS looks like. So now you can see I have the DMS on my weapon. So now if I do it, my range is different, it's not as good, but all I have to do is take off the weapon or take off the scope, put it in my bags, go back to the arsenal, and I can put on my wherever it is, LRPS, which is obviously what I want to do. It's just my LRPS. So why would I want to use the Nightstalker? Okay, well, I'm going to equip the Nightstalker. I'm actually going to show you why. So I'm going to get rid of this because this is useless. I'm going to put the, I want to equip this, and I'm going to put a Nightstalker on. Okay, so the Nightstalker. This is the Nightstalker scope. And why the Nightstalker scope is really good is that if I, let's look at something a bit further away. So, let's have a look at this tower over here, okay? So as you can see, there's this tower over here. So if I zoom in on the tower and I press T, on the right hand side, it has automatic rangefinder. So it actually eliminates the need to bring a rangefinder or anything like that for these weapons. Now, the max distance this can be configured to is 1,000 meters. So that is the big downside. However, what this scope can also do is it can change modes by pressing N, so N for November. So this is night vision, and has 2 different thermal modes. So this is what makes it very good. So you can use this scope at nighttime, because this game mode does have a night mode. And so you can see if I go into thermals, this guy has a ghillie suit on, so he's quite difficult to see. Let's see if there's any regular players around. No, but there's a helicopter. So you can see if I put on thermals, I can easily identify heat signatures. And so that's why the Nightstalker is very good. You can see at night, which you can't do on the long range precision scope. But you can also put on thermals to identify targets. So if for example the AO is nearly cleared and you're just clearing out some final targets, you've moved in a bit close, all you have to do is equip the Nightstalker scope that's in your bag. And the last thing that I would suggest for your loadout is to equip a laser designator. So that's in the arsenal, and you go to binoculars and you equip your laser designator. The reason that you choose a laser designator as opposed to a rangefinder is for 2 reasons. First and foremost, just like the rangefinder, it has a distance, so I can see if I press T, I can see this tower on the bottom of my screen says it's 129 meters away. However, if I press N, I have a night vision mode, and if I press N again, I have a thermal vision mode. So again, you can see I have a heat signature from this vehicle here in thermals. It's a different thermal to the Nightstalker scope, but it's still thermal, and so it's very, very useful to have. And as I talked about in my first video, what you can do is you can actually laser targets for your CAS or for any other kind of laser controlled vehicles. You can actually call them in, and as a sniper you're going to be high up, you're going to be at an elevation, and so you're going to have an angle on most anti-air, tanks and anti-infantry vehicles, things like that. And so you're a perfect person to equip a laser designator and call in your CAS, because at the end of the day, if you're a sniper, you are not going to be able to penetrate the armor of tanks, and so you're going to have to call in your mortar team, your artillery, or your CAS to take them out, and so it makes sense to carry a laser designator. Alright, so before I move into the final couple of parts of this guide, I just want to talk about the controls. So the default controls for the sniper rifle, they're not great. The plus and minus keys on your keyboard means you have to take your finger off your mouse to zoom in and out, and it's not great. So I'm just going to show you what my keybinds are and how to change them. So you go into configure, so you press escape, configure controls, and then you go to keyboard, and on the drop down menu you go view, not weapons, you do view. And the 2 you're looking for here is zoom in, which default is plus on the numpad, and zoom out, which is minus on the numpad. So I have 2 buttons on the side of my mouse. The uppermost button is zoom in, and the bottom button is zoom out. So that means that no matter what weapon I have, so I have my pistol here, I can zoom in by pressing the up key, or I can zoom out by pressing the out key on my mouse. Whereas if I didn't bind it to my mouse, I have to take it off. I'd have to take my fingers off my mouse. I have to press plus and minus on my keyboard, which I'm doing now, and that's very awkward. It means I can't move, I can't react to what's happening around me, and it's not very good. So there, I just want to give you a quick overview of that.